All right, today we're going to break down a strategy that is so simple, but honestly, it's incredibly powerful. It's a way to get 100% engagement in pretty much any group setting. It's called Everybody Writes, and trust me, it is a total game changer for anyone who leads a team, a class, or a workshop.
You know that feeling, right? You're leading a session. You throw out what you think is a fantastic, thought-provoking question, and what do you get back? Crickets. Just total silence. Maybe a couple of the usual people look ready to talk, but everyone else is just kind of staring. It's so frustrating. But what if there was a way to just completely break that cycle?
So let's just look at the side-by-side here. With the typical way of asking questions, you create this high-pressure situation where only a handful of people ever speak up and most of the room is just passive. But Everybody Writes completely flips that script. It creates a low-pressure environment where everybody becomes an active participant. And that's not just a little change. It fundamentally transforms the whole dynamic.
And this strategy, this is the tool that makes that happen. It's specifically designed to engage every single voice in the room. It turns participation from something you hope for into something you can count on. So what is it exactly?
Well, at its heart, Everybody Writes is pretty much what it sounds like. You just give everyone a moment to stop, to think critically about a question, and to get their own ideas down in writing. And here's the crucial part. This happens before anyone says a word out loud. It's all about creating that structured time for individual thinking.
Okay, so why is this one little tweak so incredibly effective? It really all comes down to three key benefits that get right to the heart of why people often stay quiet in groups in the first place.
First off, it builds confidence. I mean, think about it. For anyone who's maybe a bit more introverted or just needs a second to process, the pressure to come up with a brilliant answer on the spot can be totally paralyzing. This strategy gives them a safe, quiet moment to just gather their thoughts, which makes it so much more likely they'll be willing to share later on.
Second, it actually deepens understanding for everyone. The act of writing things down is a really powerful thinking tool. It forces you to take a fuzzy idea in your head and make it concrete. You're not just remembering information, you're actively making sense of it for yourself. And this is the big one, guaranteed participation. I'm not just being optimistic here, it's literally baked into the process. By asking every single person to write, you are structurally ensuring that every single person is engaged. The whole vibe shifts from a performance by a few people to deep thinking by everybody.
So we get the what and the why. Now let's get down to the how. Here is a super simple 4-step method you can literally use in your very next meeting.
Okay, step 1 is all about the question. It can't be a simple yes or no. It has to be meaningful. So, for example, in a business setting, a question like this one demands some real analysis. It opens the door for all sorts of different and valuable ideas.
And this isn't just for big picture strategy. The technique is so versatile. In a more technical training, like for construction, the question might be more about a procedure. But the goal is exactly the same. Get everybody thinking individually about something important.
So here's the whole 4-step process. You start with that great question. Then, and this is key, you set a timer for like 3 to 5 minutes of silent, independent writing. After that, you have them discuss their ideas in pairs or small groups, super low stakes. And only then, after all that, do you invite people to share with the whole group. The result? When you finally ask for volunteers, everyone has something thoughtful ready to go.
And listen, this is so important. You have to tell people this is not an essay contest. The goal is just to capture thoughts. Bullet points, phrases, even little diagrams. It's all good. You have to lower the stakes. That's the secret sauce to getting those raw, authentic ideas.
Now, once you get the hang of those basic 4 steps, you can start to play with it a little bit, You can adapt the strategy to make it even more powerful and inclusive for whatever group you're working with. Think of these as little tweaks you can make. For example, you can offer sentence starters to help folks get their ideas flowing, or you can explicitly allow diagrams for your visual thinkers. If you really want to push the learning, you could even have people review each other's written thoughts, or, and this is my favorite, ask everyone to revise their original answer after the group discussion. That really shows how our thinking can evolve. So, when you boil it all down, this is so much more than just a classroom trick. It is a genuinely powerful tool for driving 3 things we almost always want: full participation, deep personal reflection, and real critical thinking. It's how you turn that passive audience into a room just buzzing with active, engaged minds. So as we wrap this up, I'm going to turn the final question back to you. Whether you're in a boardroom, a training session, or a classroom, just think about the next time you're leading a group. What's the first important question you're going to ask when you finally decide that you want to hear from everybody?